What's up, guys? I'm Michael Sanzone, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
I want to dive in and talk about like the first track that you released, because the moment you dropped music, it was just like everything just kind of blew up in the music space for you. But leading up to that, like I'm curious, like how did you discover your sound, your voice, and how did you learn to write the way that you do?
I think it came, I don't want to say very naturally because I've been working on music for like 3 years behind closed doors, but home was trial and error. I've been writing music for about 2.5 years now, just like working on music every day. And it was probably the fourth song that I had like tried and worked on and written. It came pretty quickly. Once we started, that song actually came out in like 30 minutes. Like it as soon as we started, we knew that song was going to be great. So yeah, home was very quick.
And what was that writing process between you and Alex? Like, how did you get together in these sessions and start writing? And what did you learn from that experience as well?
Alex Warren,
yeah.
It's funny. He actually was in there and he started humming while we were recording. And the hum that you hear, the like, oh, that part he actually like came up with. So that was his credits right there. But we don't write too often together. We have another song that we've done on one of his projects, but yeah, he just had that quick humming part, and that's like how that came to be.
That was a pretty important part of the song.
Yeah, it's like the hookiest part.
Yeah, it's very monumental if you ask me.
Yeah.
During that creative process or the recording process of it, like how did you go about as far as like recording your vocals? Did you do a lot of trial and error, or did you come into it knowing like the type of direction you wanted with your vocal range and your vocal tone?
No, I was definitely clueless. Still, we actually recorded that song. The demo, and then we were gonna go do an actual vocal day at like I think it's East West Studios, where they have like all the best equipment.
Yeah.
We did it there, and then after getting it back, I was just like it doesn't feel the same as the demo. So I actually used all the demo vocals on that song. Like, there were a lot of them are the one takes that just made it like it felt better.
Yeah, and coming into writing, I mean, it's one thing like being animated and talking to your friends and letting them know what you got going on in your life or what troubles you're going through. But when you put it to paper and then release a song like that, vulnerability is kind of scary. Do you feel like that was easy for you to just kind of be able to open up to this audience, or do you feel like it's been a challenge for you to open up to this audience?
I think music in general is like a really vulnerable area that a lot of people are like scared to try. I was definitely scared to try. I've always been singing, but the thought of like putting it out to where other people can have an opinion on it was definitely scary. But I mean, my fan base like absolutely ate it up and was like, yes, do music. And I was like, there's no way. That's always like the best reaction you could ask for. So that was fantastic. It made it a lot easier, but I had the nerves going into it. Yeah.
And then now we have a song like Going, Going, Gone. This is your fourth release. And I feel like everything that you're creating, like not only are you evolving, but it's just like, it just blows my mind. It's like, how did you go from this to this and then now to this? So, you know, it seems like it's just been a quick progression for you. When you started writing Going, Going, Gone, did you feel a difference in the writing process?
It's a song actually that I've been trying to write for like 5 years. I lost my grandma like 7 years ago, and I've always like tried to find a way to sing about it and like be a little more cheerful of her death instead of like breaking down and crying every time.
Right.
Which that's what was happening with every song I was writing. It was just like I couldn't get through it because it was like too emotional. So this one with the beat being a little more upbeat, and it's like it gives me that like cheerful get outside and like explore life rather than break down in my car and cry. So that's how that song came about.
Yeah. When you went into the studio to record this, again, same question as the other one. It's like vocally, I feel like you also tried to step out of that comfort zone with your vocals and your tones. What did you do differently this time around? And did you do this on your own, like challenge yourself by yourself, or was it like a producer that allowed you to get challenged in this process?
When it comes to the vocal, I mean, I'm still figuring out my voice. It's still like so fresh. I'm still so new to the area. But Rolo, who's a writer, he's a great writer, also a fantastic vocal singer. He actually put his vocals on it first, and it was like allowed me to hear it so that kind of like changed the dynamic of how I normally sing it.
Mm-hmm.
He was very helpful to that song process.
As you're learning to understand your voice, do you feel like that's playing a role in the way that you're writing music? Like, do you see an evolution on the way you write now because, okay, maybe you feel more comfortable on these tones or these vocal ranges?
Yeah, absolutely. I know not to go too high.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the craziest range. I have a little more on the lower end of the range, but yeah, I definitely know not to go. I don't know keys, but I know not to go very high.
How are you able to execute such a like sad emotional song and create it something happier? Was that a challenge for you in the studio to do?
Yeah, no, that's what took so long, was trying to figure out a nice balance of like something that is memorable towards her and like still cheerful while
Mm-hmm.
also delivering a really important message. So I think the beat really helped on that one. Instead of
Yeah.
being a really slow, sad ballad, it's a little more bouncy. Makes you want to go outside, explore. So that was definitely like the inspiration behind that. Yeah.
Was it difficult for you to go back into those moments that you kind of had with her, or just like revisiting the fact that she's not here? Like, did you feel that that was tough when you were writing the song?
Yeah. No, that it's because like you have to relive things
Yeah.
to remember how to write it. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that when it comes to writing music, you have to like go back into your mindset at that time and
Yeah.
really see what you were going through. So yeah, that was definitely tough, but in the end, it was I was grateful for it. Yeah.
Right. You were mentioning like the previous material, it was hard for you to talk about these emotions or release these emotions because you were getting sad or emotional during the process. What do you think changed this time around that you were able to execute it?
The beat. It was
So you
it
think
was
that the
yeah,
beat
like
was
the
like
beat
just
really
changed
helped.
everything for you?
It because it just like makes you want to move around a little more. It like kind
Yeah.
of brings a smile to your face. It's not like slow piano chords that I would normally play to the song.
Yeah.
I've tried like literally several different versions of this, and every single time it like brings me to tears because I'm playing like
Wow.
something really slow. And like she was like my best friend, so it was
Yeah.
really hard to write about this. But yeah, the beat definitely helped. Where it would like get me bobbing my head. I'm like, okay, maybe she'd be dancing to this too right now. Like it was a good feeling.
It's cool how something like a melody or even like a lyric could just change the entire dynamic of a song. Have you experienced that before in any of your other material where it's like you came into it and started writing it one way and then you realized that this other way was way better, or it gave it like a whole new different life?
With Home, actually, the first song, I forgot what we were singing before, but then I just like said the word home and like everything like snapped into place.
Yeah.
So that song came so quickly. Once we like got that word, we were like, oh wait, now we know the whole dynamic of the whole song. And it's actually funny because Tear It Down is like almost a sister song,
Yeah.
because Tear It Down is also about a home, but it's like crumbling apart.
Right.
Yeah, those two songs I really like.
Do you feel like there's maybe like a cohesiveness in these 4 tracks so far? Like, is there eventually a body of work where they're going to belong? Or do you want to kind of test out the singles game just to understand who you are more as an artist?
Definitely with the singles right now, but I would love to say I'm going to come out with a project towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
During this year, as you're like testing out material, testing out your voice, your songwriting, what has been the biggest challenge for you?
I think figuring out it's everything. It's trying to figure out what the people want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
It's also maintaining like what you want to say.
Yeah.
It's just a mix of everything. Trying to figure out the best ways to get the music out there without annoying people with posting it too many times. And that seems to be a really common thing nowadays, is like trying to push a song on TikTok
Yeah.
so aggressively. I think it's probably that, just try putting it out, promoting it, but not too much to where people are like, I don't want to hear it. Like
Yeah.
that's a big one that goes on.
Where do you feel like most of your traffic came from? Do you feel like it was the social media world that brought that attention to Home and all the other material that you've released so far?
100%. Yeah. I've been like doing live streams and stuff over the last like 3 years
Yeah.
of just like singing and stuff. So my comments would always be like, when are you going to put out music? Stuff like that. And it was like almost prepping them for when I do put out a
Yeah.
song. They're not like, what is this? They were like, yes.
Nice.
So yeah, that was a big one.
Must feel good that they actually showed up when that happened. I feel like there's so many times where people are like, "Oh, I'll go to your next show. I'll go to your next show." That show never comes, or they never end up coming because
Yeah.
that show never happens or whatnot. But since you have this kind of close connection with your audience, do you have moments where you kind of test these songs out with them, or kind of get their get a gauge of what they're feeling or what they're into, and then maybe go back into the studio and rework it?
Yeah, absolutely. I majority of the songs I put on TikTok are way before they're finished. It's
Yeah.
kind of seeing what people like what parts they want to hear more of. I also have like this like little group chat on my Instagram where I ask
Yeah.
like my close fans like, hey, what do you want to hear in this, or like, do you like it? And they like give me feedback. So it's more for the people. So it's
Mhm.
like if they want to hear it a certain way, I'm like, I'll do it. So it's nice to get those like early moments with them.
How did you land to this sound? Just because I feel like that's one of the scariest things, like coming into the music world. It's like you want to understand why you belong in this space, but you also want to understand what kind of lane or what kind of genre you want to be rolling in, right? So what was it about this sound that drew your attention? Is this the music that you listen to at home on your leisure, or is this just something that just gravitated towards you?
Well, I grew up listening to like Justin Bieber and Usher, so those don't really make sense. But no, I listen to a lot of Ed Sheeran, Louis Capaldi. Huge fan of Louis Capaldi. I always say it. Louis, if you ever like see something of me, please say hello. Yeah, I definitely tend towards more like the Ed Sheerans, the Louis Capaldis, James Arthur. That's probably where I get more inspo from. I really love like the singer-songwriter style, so that's probably where I get most of my inspiration from.
How do you perfect your voice? What do you do to kind of test the waters every single time?
Oh God, try a different key. That seems to be the way to get me out of my comfort zone, is just keep bumping it a little higher every time. But yeah, probably the key.
So right now we have Going Gone out. Like, what are the plans for the remainder of the year, or even for the summertime? Because I feel like you've been releasing a lot, and I'm sure that there's so much more going on right now. So what can fans look forward to?
Right now, I'm just building my portfolio. I'm still so new to the space, so it's just putting out more songs, getting people familiar with me being an artist. That's going to be my forever plan. So it's just making sure everyone's on the bandwagon with me, but definitely a project at the end of the year.
During this whole experience, these 4 tracks that you've released so far, what do you feel that you've learned about yourself that you didn't know about? Whether it was like in the writing process, the recording process, or just you like personally, like being able to open up to your audience?
Like what I've learned about myself?
Yeah, like what has this experience really taught you about being an artist?
Man, it's just like my whole life has changed. Like really, it's so different from what I was doing. Doing social media, I wake up every day with not necessarily a plan of what I'm doing. I'm just like, TikToks today. But like now I have a schedule. I have to be at sessions every other day. I have meetings, interviews, and like things like this where it's just like a completely different life. And I'm more grateful for it because like before it was almost like I was like trying to find a purpose, but it definitely feels like I've found it. And I'm just like super excited with how life's been. So
that's dope, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what else comes out, what other material you have, and definitely I want to catch you live. Like I want to see what that live show is really like. Have you kind of tested the waters in that lane? Like have you done any performances, or have you been considering any performances?
Definitely considering maybe beginning of next year.
Yeah.
Just still trying to get all these songs out so I actually have something to sing on stage. It's not like a 10-minute show. I've sang part of a song on Alex Warren's tour. But other than that, no, I sing a lot in my living room, the sessions, but I'm definitely like ready to sing out in the public. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. So thanks so much for hanging out with me. You guys be sure to check out Michael. And new single is out now, Going Gone. And thanks for watching on Front Row Live.
Stream it.
Yeah.